Alright guys, you know the drill by now. My name's Tim. I'm here to talk about some video games. Today it's Assassin's Creed Mirage again, another in the Is It Worth Picking Up series, or Is It Worth Checking Out series, where I go through my backlog and try out some of the games that I purchased but never played. So yeah, I did a little bit of a walkthrough, or a walkabout as I called it, in the opening area of Assassin's Creed Mirage the other day, and today I want to go over a little bit of the stealth mechanics and gameplay mechanics, basic stealth and fighting stuff. So I was wrong, you do have your eagle in this one, just like in previous ones, and that's fine, it's not the end of the world. It's not particularly realistic, but you know, that's okay. You can still mark all your targets and tag all your objectives and this and that. The stealth itself is so far so good. Circle is crouch. Any tall grass will keep you out of the enemy's lines of sight. When you activate your assassin's vision, you can actually see the enemy's vision cones. It shows the in kind of a red outline the radius that they can see. Tapping right on the directional pad will whistle and draw their attention. R1's your basic quick assassin strike, just like any other game. It'll prompt you when they're close. So yeah, so far the stealth works like you would expect. You break line of sight and you will see an outline of your character where they last saw you. So then you can kind of run and hide a little bit better. There are still hay bales, just like you would expect. There are still the little rooftop cubbies, like you would expect. There are still the park benches and the crowds that you can blend into. It is done so much more naturally and organically than the Valhalla and the Odyssey and the Origins did. I'll say it, I said it in the first video and I'll say it again. This reminds me most of a blend of Unity and Revelations. And I say Revelation because it was set in the Ottoman Empire. This is set in Baghdad. It's very, very similar thematically. But it plays like Unity did once Unity was fully fixed. It's a little bit faster, which is actually welcome. That was my one minor gripe about Unity, was that it was a little bit too slow, and I'm talking 4 months after it released when it was patched and working. So yeah, this one reminds me a lot of that. Once you are seen, it's generally a run or fight. It's a fight or flight thing kicks in. The fighting is much more reflex based than the recent RPG ones, and at least from what you can see, I'm sure under the hood it's still numbers based, but it's not nearly as numbers based on the surface as the previous three. So is this a return to form? In many ways, yes. I'm not far enough in to say if the story is going to be compelling or not. Basim is a little bit of a petulant ass so far, but he could grow. Assassin's Creed games are pretty known for character growth over the course of the game or games, so we'll see what happens with this one. When you are in combat, it's pretty simple. R1 is your strike. If you hold R1, it is a heavy strike. Everything is very physics-based, so if you don't get the timing right, you are going to be caught in your wind-up by enemies that are attacking you. So your best bet with the heavy attacks is to utilize your parry, which is L1. If you time it right when you parry, the enemies will be staggered backwards. When they stagger backwards, you've got enough of a timing window to hold down R1 and get your wind-up attack. Wind-up attacks will break guard and do more damage. So there's a little bit of a combo system, but it's a natural combo system. You're just, light, heavy, light, heavy. The parrying seems to work pretty well. I'm bad at it, but I'm bad at all reflex-based games. That's just the type of gamer I am. I'm not good at that. I can get good specifically in certain games with enough practice, but we'll see if I play this one enough to get that practice. So yeah, the combat's fun. It's parrying and blocking and riposting and attacking with lights and heavies. There's also a dodge or a dodge roll, a stutter step, a sidestep. Square activates that. Anytime enemies use their heavy attack, it's telegraphed pretty heavily. There are options, I believe, in the accessibility to make them glow more or less. But when they do a telegraphed move, you can't parry, you have to dodge or sidestep. And then there is the same window to counterattack or riposte after those. So that's the bare bones basic of the attacks of the battle system of the stealth. Once you've broken line of sight or killed all of the enemies, it's typical Assassin's Creed back to normal. If you get into a chase sequence, they are relatively diligent, but all you've really got to do is break line of sight and then get into a good hiding place. They tend to follow to your last known position and then glance around and give up. So I don't know if there are higher difficulties that'll change that. I haven't really looked into that or not. All I know is that I'm having fun so far. It's pretty cool. It doesn't look like it's going to be as enormous of a collectathon as previous games, which I'm thankful for. And I know that its scale is somewhat smaller, although the city itself that I've seen is huge. So yeah, my name's Tim. Glad you came by. Always good to see you. Hope to see you again soon, and take care.